You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Today marks the official start of hurricane season. We're going to tell you about the preparations that you need to make today to be ready for a storm. And one of the biggest meth busts ever in Sarasota County this week. We're going to tell you just how much they seized. And thousands of pythons are slithering through the Everglades right now. But now the state is doing something they've never done before to finally get rid of all those snakes. We're going to tell you what it is. We have those stories and your first alert weather. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning to you. It is 5 o'clock on this Friday morning. Ray Collins is off for the day. My name is Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up and joining us. It is June 1st, but it's not just the start of a new month. It is the official start of the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season. So let's get right on over to meteorologist John Scalzi.
I don't know what's more unsettling, the start of hurricane season or that snake video. That was rough. Yeah, started the hurricane season. We have tonight, by the way, at 7 o'clock, we have our hurricane special. You do want to catch that. It's going to have a lot of great information for you. And the whole team will be there. It's going to be a really interesting show. Today, we have a chance to dry out. We've had so much rainfall lately. We could use a little time to kind of walk around and do a little of the yard work, maybe empty out some of those containers that might be holding on to some of the water that's going to create a mosquito problem next week, I betcha. So we're going to get that. We're looking at the cloud pattern right now and not seeing a whole lot in the way of cloud cover across our region. That's good news. We'll start the dawn with a little bit of sunshine out there and not much of a rain chance today. That plume of deep tropical moisture, it's less of a thick funnel of moisture today. We have a little drier air that's kind of filtered into that plume, and so it's going to be a little less conducive for shower development in the afternoon. We'll put the rain chance at about 20%, and honestly, that's mostly going to be for inland areas. Our daytime high, of course, with all the sunshine, will be boosted up to the upper 80s, so it'll be a warm day. The weekend looks pretty darn good, I do have to say, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a few.
All right, thanks. Well, as we just reminded you, it is the official start of hurricane season. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us now live from the Emergency Operations Center in Sarasota with an example of just how one county so far is making preparations for the year. Good morning, Marla.
Good morning, Stephanie. After months of planning and preparations, the county has plans in place just in case a hurricane hits the Suncoast. Now, last hurricane season, which was with Hurricane Irma, the county has made several changes. The Emergency Management Chief, Ed McCrane, says the county learned from its mistakes last season, and this time around there are new changes in place that McCrane says could make it easy for county staff and also Sarasota County residents. Among many changes, there will be changes to evacuation centers. There will now be 11 evacuation centers that will all open at the same time. Last season, the county opened 4 centers, and once those were filled up, they opened another 4. McCrane says this caused a bit of confusion for residents here on the Suncoast. This season, those 11 centers that will open at the same time will be in Sarasota County School District buildings, and all of them will be pet friendly as well. Now, people evacuating to those centers will also have to bring their own bedding and also food. In addition to that, McCrane says there will be 3 shelters for people with medical needs and a transportation plan in place for those who can't get to those evacuation centers.
Because we will have a series of rally points set up at city, county, and school board buildings throughout the county, where people can go to, and they'll be taken by either a SCAT bus or a school bus to the nearest evacuation center. But those that can't get to the rally point, we can actually pick them up if they register and let us know. And we want them to do that in advance. We will cut off the registration process 60 hours before a hurricane arrives.
And people can register online at the Sarasota County's government's website. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to be telling you all you need to know for the hurricane season as far as a supply kit. So we're going to be telling you all that information coming up at 5:30. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. And don't forget, tonight at 7, it's our Surviving a Hurricane special. ABC 7's First Alert weather team breaks down everything that you need to know for this hurricane season, including evacuation routes, flood zones, even which shelters are pet-friendly, and some new transportation options for when a storm hits. We're also going to have our experts in studio to answer your questions live on the air. So again, be sure to tune in tonight at 7 o'clock right here on ABC 7. And right now, let's take your first look at traffic out there this morning. Now, it's not too bad, actually. Mostly in Manatee County, those roads are running pretty smooth. No real delays in that area. Heading into Sarasota County, those roads, again, are looking pretty decent. A little slowdown right there on 41, but nothing to be too concerned about at this hour. Clark Road, if you're coming off of 75, a little delay there. But other than that, both 75 and 41 are running very smooth if you're heading south towards Port Charlotte this morning. It is 5:05. That is your first alert traffic. Well, local business owners tell us that they are already feeling the effects of the state of emergency declared by the city of Sarasota for Lido Beach erosion. Now, you can see the severity on the north and the south ends of Lido Beach in this video taken by Sarasota Experience. Now, during a walk down the shoreline in the middle of last weekend's storm, Sarasota City Manager Tom Barwin saw that the beach had eroded another 5 to 7 feet. So he then declared a local state of emergency to make sure that they're eligible for any financial assistance available that they may need. Now, the Lido Beach restaurant says it's already taken a hit to business.
It's cut into the revenue here quite a bit. It also depends on the weather a particular day. The days we've had rainy weather have kept people away as well. But the beach erosion, I know from friends of mine, they don't come here because they don't have the area that they like to sit.
Now, in addition to eligibility for financial aid, the State Department of Emergency, they also declared that they give property owners a permit to place up to 300 cubic yards of sand on the beach in front of their property to help protect it as well. Well, it is one of the biggest meth busts in Sarasota County history. Detectives from the Sheriff's Office seized more than 8 pounds of meth, 400 grams of marijuana, prescription pills, a firearm, and $163,000 in what they think is drug money. Now, all of that comes after a 6-month undercover investigation called Operation Night Train. 43-year-old Brian Tharp of Venice. He is the one that's being called the kingpin of this operation and the reason that Operation Night Train was actually launched. Also involved in the operation, according to the Sheriff's Office, Gary McLeod, Dylan Woodward, Kevin Preston, and Tharp's girlfriend, Carly Petker.
The evidence you see here before you that Sarasota County Sheriff's Office was able to take off the streets of your communities is a direct contribution from the Mexican cartels. They're infiltrating Florida. They're infiltrating the United States. Last year along the southwest border, there were 21,000 kilograms of methamphetamine seized.
More arrests and charges may be coming because the investigation is still ongoing. Well, a dramatic rise in car burglaries in Manatee County has prompted the Sheriff's Office to create another task force, this one for burglaries. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says that there have been more than 650 car burglaries in the county just so far this year, which is at least 200 more than this time last year. In addition, cars being stolen have increased as well. Now, the burglary task force will go around to neighborhoods all over the county during the overnight hours, keeping a close eye on both cars and homes.
We're using school resource deputies. We're using neighborhood policing, our cops unit. We're also using detectives. And we're going to go out there and we're going to saturate neighborhoods. Of course, I'm scared. You know, we have 2 children who are small, and we checked our cars immediately and made sure nothing was stolen, and they were locked.
Now, the Sheriff's Office says that more than 90% of burglaries happen because cars aren't locked overnight. So they are urging folks to lock vehicles, make sure your homes are locked as well. The task force officially begins today. All right, calling all you python hunters out there. The Everglades State Park is doing something they've never done in their 70-year history. They're opening the park borders to paid hunters. Now, that is just how bad the python problem really is. For years now, python hunting has been allowed and encouraged in state wetlands, but not the state park. So they're hoping that expanding the hunt now, especially the paid part of it, will help cut down on the python population. Now, hey, if you don't mind pythons, you can get paid pretty well. You can get paid up to $8-10 an hour to hunt pythons in some spots. Hunters will get a $50 bonus for every 4-foot python, and then another $25 for every extra foot over that, even a $200 bonus just for taking out a full nest. Well, Sarasota County School Board members won't be meeting up with law enforcement to discuss school safety after all, because they just don't have the time. According to School Board Chair Bridget Ziegler, there isn't one day that more than 3 board members are available at the same time. So now, instead of a school board workshop, a meeting between Ziegler, Superintendent Todd Bowden, and the heads of law enforcement will take place on June 12th. Now, this meeting is aimed at getting the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office and the district both on the same page when it comes to school safety. Well, starting Monday, kids under the age of 18 can eat breakfast and lunch all summer long for free. It's going to be taking place at the Morgan Family Community Center in Northport. That program runs from June 4th until August 3rd. Both breakfast and lunch will be served. It's part of the Florida Department of Agriculture's Summer Break Spot campaign. Well, catching a sunset in New York City is never better than right now. It is a yearly phenomenon. They call it Manhattan Henge, kind of like Stonehenge, and it is impressing sky gazers. You've probably seen pictures like this before between the two buildings, but it's at its peak right now. Now, Wednesday night was the second day this month to catch this unique glow, the one that you're seeing right here, when the sun is perfectly aligned with the borough's grid. Now, and of course, some hot spots. You can look towards New Jersey from an eastern part of Manhattan. There's a couple of views in there from the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building. They're all good too. Manhattan Henge is visible there until around mid-July. Right here back at home, you're going to take a live look this morning at St. Armand's Circle, where this weekend the second annual St. Armand's Seafood and Music Festival will be taking place. It was actually rescheduled after last weekend's storm. All kinds of fresh seafood for you to sample. Some live music is taking place both Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 8, and the best part, it is free. All right, still ahead to come on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest on Trump and those tariffs and what it means for your wallet. Plus, summer is here now for kids on Suncoast. How you can protect your kids from getting sunburned this summer. It's very important to stop that. But first, let's take a look outside this morning. It is 73 degrees right now, but kind of a sticky morning out there. What's the rest of the day going to be like there, John Scalzi?
You know, not too bad. I think as dawn breaks, we're going to have a lot of sunshine out there. We have a pressure that is fallen a little bit over the last 24 hours, but will be rising throughout the day today as high pressure builds in. Calm winds. Relative humidity is high at 93%. Lovely weather coming our way. We'll talk about it in just a minute.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
It's a mild start to the day. We have a 73-degree temperature. The humidity is at 93%, calm winds right now. The dew points have fallen just a little bit. And as we head through the afternoon, I think we'll notice a little bit more sunshine around today. And I think we'll notice less rain on the radar. We had some showers out in Gulf waters yesterday morning, a few here and there. We had a few that built in inland areas and drifted further and further away from us. I think today we'll have less of a rain chance near the coast and only about a 20% chance of rainfall in inland areas. And those showers will continue to kind of push further and further away from our coastline. So we'll call it mostly sunny. We'll look for mostly inland showers, and that will be the case really right straight through the weekend. Look for a temperature at 9 a.m. of about 79 degrees. Lots of sunshine boosting temperatures into the 80s by 12 noon. And we'll top it out today mild, coming in at about 88 degrees. A warm afternoon. And temperatures falling into the 80s this evening. Just not a lot of action going on. Even down in the Florida Keys, where we saw lots of rainfall yesterday at this hour, lifting out of Cuba, all we're seeing are a few scattered showers. I mean, the general trend for those is to be moving from east to west. Not a whole lot of north-south motion with these storms. Steering currents have changed just a little bit. As we go into the afternoon, I think we'll start to see in inland areas some building going on there. Otherwise, our three rivers are still forecast to be cresting right straight through the weekend, but minor flooding, no big deal here. We're not looking at any water in homes or anything like that. The rain showers will probably start to hold off until afternoon. I think probably by around lunchtime you might see a few storms start to build, and then again by around 2, 3 o'clock they'll start to develop along the sea breeze front in inland areas and then push further and further away from us as the East Coast all weekend long will be the favored location in the state of Florida for shower development, not necessarily our coast on the West Coast. In fact, we'll develop this southwesterly wind flow, even a northwesterly wind flow that will continue to bring us pretty nice conditions right through the weekend. I think it's going to be beach weather all weekend long. As far as the amount of cloud cover we get, I think it'll be on the decrease as high pressure builds in. We still have aloft a somewhat of a southwesterly flow of air, and that does tend to bring in some upper level moisture, but insufficient amounts to produce the kind of rain that we saw a couple of days ago. What we'll notice, I think, is a kind of thinning out of these clouds as we move through the weekend. As high pressure continues to build in, our winds shift to a more southwesterly direction, and then eventually even to a northwesterly direction. And that should make for a very, very nice weekend indeed. Warm weekend, however. So a chance to dry out, we'll call it. Weekend sunshine. And, of course, hurricane season starting today. And tonight at 7, we'll be broadcasting live your hurricane special with all kinds of good information in it. You'll want to watch it. And it should be entertaining as well, so good stuff. West wind coming in at about 10 knots, turning to the northwest at about 5 to 10 this evening. Should bring you a light chop. Nice day for boating. No complaints here. 2-foot seas, light chop. I'm sure the waterways will be busy this weekend with boaters. 7:53 our low tide. High tide comes at 1:43. Look for today. Daytime highs warm. Same thing tomorrow. I don't see much of a rain chance through the weekend, as most of those showers will be inland. And then as we head into next work week, we'll start to put in just minor chances of rain. So an extended period of some drier weather. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic one more time this morning. In Manatee County, we are starting to see some slowdowns right there on Cortez if you're heading towards 41 coming from the beach area. And a little bit of slowdown right there on 41, just the southern area, but not too much going on in that area. Then in Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad at all this morning. That's a great look right there. No real yellow or red on that map, no slowdowns. A little bit farther south in the area, if your commute is going to be taking you to Port Charlotte or to Punta Gorda, 75 and 41 are both running pretty smooth out there this morning. 519, that is your first alert traffic. Well, today, new tariffs are in effect for several of America's closest allies. President Trump has promised to crack down on global trading partners that he believes are taking advantage of the U.S. But that move is already sparking some retaliation, which could lead to you as a consumer paying more for some things. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
This morning, the trade fight between the U.S. and its closest neighbors and allies is escalating.
let me be clear. These tariffs are totally unacceptable.
The Canadians upset. So are leaders in Europe and Mexico. Their countries hit with stiff new tariffs on steel and aluminum imports by President Trump.
We've been taken advantage of by the world. That's not going to be happening anymore.
It's unclear if or when, but American consumers could see higher prices on everything from appliances and plane tickets to canned drinks and cars. A trade group for U.S. automakers says these tariffs will result in an increase in the price of domestically produced steel, threatening the industry's global competitiveness and raising vehicle costs for our customers. The international reaction, swift.
This is a bad day for the world trade. The European Union cannot react to that without any kind of reaction.
Europe, Mexico, and Canada promising to retaliate with tariffs on hundreds of U.S. products like blue jeans, bourbon, peanut butter, pork, cranberries, and toilet paper.
We have to believe that at some point, common sense will prevail. But we see no sign of that in this action today by the U.S. administration.
Also stressing U.S.-Canadian relations, President Trump took direct aim at Canada's Prime Minister over trade. The president, who's renegotiating NAFTA, said in a statement last night the U.S. will agree to a fair deal or there will be no deal at all. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
In this hour's Health Smart, with your kids out for the summer, they're going to be spending probably some more time outside, right? Which means a reminder for sunscreen. So how do you know which sunscreens are actually the best for your kids? Well, dermatologists say, don't worry if the sunscreen is targeted toward kids versus adults. The ingredients in both kids and adult sunscreen is basically the same. What you do want to focus on first is the SPF level, definitely 30 or above, and then make sure it says broad spectrum on it, because that protects from both UVA and UVB rays. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, we're going to have more for you as well. Florida's sales tax holiday, it also begins today along with hurricane season. You can get your hurricane supplies tax-free. We're going to tell you which supplies are on that list and just how long you can take advantage of this deal.
From the moment she walked in the door, we stopped having to go to the pharmacy. Certain prescriptions, my health plan or the pharmacy wasn't even able to get here. And hospice provided them, and all we had to do was call up, and the next thing they know, there was another, a delivery.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwell's at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Well, welcome back. It is 5:24. A nonprofit that helps local veterans was the target of a cybercrime over Memorial Day weekend, costing both time and money to fix. SRQ Vets is a veteran-run nonprofit which does everything from yard work to transportation services, even going to get groceries for local veterans in need. Well, during their Memorial Day 5K hike, the group noticed multiple $5 donations coming out of the country accounts. Now, those accounts turned out to be thousands of dollars and stolen credit cards. So now their operations are on hold while they have to return over $10,000 in donations.
A lot of us, our resources are now directed to making sure that all this money's getting back. So it's kind of frustrating and annoying. And we have donors that are coming in with appliances and furniture that want us to come and pick up. But we're like, hey, we have to postpone this because we have to fix a problem with a person that we'll probably never get to see.
Now, the group is waiting to see if they'll be charged any fees by the bank for all of those transactions. They say they've changed their electronic donation requirements to defend against future fraud attempts, also hoping that this won't affect any of their finances in the future. Caught on camera being a perfect little gentleman. I love this. It is video that has gone viral for all the right reasons. 8-year-old Maurice Adams, you can see right here, he helped a woman with a walker up this flight of stairs right here, as you can see. Now, Adams was just out with his mom when he saw the woman struggling. So he jumped out of the car and he gave her a little helping hand up those stairs. Now, another passerby who didn't even know Adams or his mom, he was actually in the car behind him. He saw what was going on and decided to record the whole thing, a wonderful random act of kindness. Now, when the pair reached the top of the stairs, you're going to see right in here in just a moment, the woman actually gave him a big hug, thanking him. Now, the stranger posted the video to Facebook and was soon put in contact with Maurice and his mom. And look, oh, a beautiful moment, a wonderful random act of kindness on this Friday morning. Still to come, your First Alert weekend forecast. Will it be a beach weekend? And a look at all the top stories that we are following for you today. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
It is officially hurricane season. The start is today. This weekend is the perfect time to buy your hurricane supplies tax-free. We're going to tell you which items are covered. And today, the UN Security Council is expected to vote on a very important draft resolution. We'll tell you what it is and what it means. And a World War II nurse celebrates her 99th birthday, the biggest moments in history that she was a part of. We have those stories and your first alert weather right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning to you. It is 5:30. I'm Stephanie Webb. Ray Collins has a day off. It is the start of hurricane season. We've already had one named subtropical system already this year, Alberto. Right now, we should head right over to John Scalzi for a look at the weather and the start of the season.
Yeah, we did have Alberto, and then previous Mays, there have been 14 times where we've had a named storm in May, and each of those seasons turned out to be average, and in fact, one of the leading prognosticators of hurricane season forecasts out of Colorado State University has lowered expectation for an active season and says it'll probably be more of a average season. Not completely unexpected, that announcement, and we'll show you why coming up in the next 10 minutes or so. Right now, satellite view not showing a whole lot of cloud cover across the state. We're looking at a pretty nice dawn, I think. Maybe a mix of sun and fair weather clouds as we head through the morning. Not a big rain chance. Few scattered showers down in the Florida Straits. But other than that, that's really about it. I put our rain chance today at only about 20%. And that'll be mostly for inland areas. And the weekend looks like a chance to dry out, thankfully. Cooper, our youngest weather watcher, reported in, said over the course of May, he had 13 inches of rainfall. Normally we'd get a little over 2.5. Pretty impressive. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, let's take a look outside again to your first alert traffic, starting off in Manatee County. Not much going on there this morning. Pretty slow drive. We are seeing some slowdowns on Cortez right there, heading back from the beach toward 41, but that's really it. Heading into Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty good there too. Starting to see some slowdowns. Bee Ridge, a little bit of slowdown if you're heading towards 75, so give yourself a few extra minutes if that is part of your morning route. And then farther south, if you're heading towards Punta Gorda or farther, maybe toward Naples this morning, it's all looking good. 75, 41, both running smooth. That is your first alert traffic. Also a reminder about a street closure in Manatee County. State Road 64 will be closed to traffic at 5th Street West for repairs being made to the railroad crossing. Now the closure will remain closed for 4 weeks. Well, it is the official start of hurricane season. If you haven't gotten ready for the season just yet, got all of your supplies and all that good stuff, your evacuation route in place, now is the perfect time. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us live from the Emergency Operations Center in Sarasota with some ideas on how you should prepare. Marla?
Good morning, Stephanie. You know, the emergency management chief says you should be preparing your home now if you haven't already done so. He says no one should wait until we get a hurricane warning in order to get supplies and the items needed to prepare their home and also their families. Ed McCrane, who is the chief management operations chief, says you should have a kit for you, your family, and also your pets. He says in addition to that, you should set aside individual kits. He calls these go kits. He says in that kit, you pack items you take with you if you need to evacuate. These items should include clothing, hygiene products, medication, and also money. He says the better you plan and prepare is the better your survival and recovery will be after a major storm.
So we believe everybody should be prepared for a minimum of 72 hours. So you have a 3-day kit of supplies to last you for after the storm. It's better to have at least a week. We know we lost power in some cases for up to 11 days. So people need to put together a supply kit. They can look at scgov.net. They can look at ReadyGov. They can pick up one of our disaster guides.
And today is also a sales tax holiday for hurricane items for a full week. Sales tax for state and local hurricane items will be lifted. So for those who need to go ahead and prepare for hurricane season, now is the right time to do so. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Happening today, the UN Security Council is expected to vote on at least one Middle East draft resolution. Now that comes after Kuwait first presented a draft resolution that calls for the protection of Palestinian civilians. Now this draft demands that Israel stops the violence against Palestinian civilians. At least 122 so far have been killed by Israeli fire in the Gaza unrest since the beginning of March. Well, a proposed hotel to be built on the island of Venice is getting a lot of attention. The builders are seeking to rezone the property off of 41 near Village on the Isles. But the city of Venice, they're showing some public emails. Not everyone in the community supports this project. Now, some worry that that hotel will create some traffic issues. Others think that the hotel will be a good addition, especially for family members visiting those who might live on the Village on the Isles retirement community across the street. Now, the hotel rezone is expected to go before the Venice City Council very soon. Looking ahead to the weekend, need a job? Here's a place to start. The Manatee County School District will be holding a job fair and a hiring event. It is taking place tomorrow, Saturday, at the Manatee Technical College. Now remember, bring your resume, any certificates or licenses that you may have, and dress to impress. You might get an on-site interview. It runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And here is a live look, St. Armand's Circle, where this weekend the second annual St. Armand's Seafood and Music Festival is going to be taking place. This, of course, was rescheduled from last weekend after the washout with the storm. All kinds of local seafood for you to sample. There'll be some live bands there both. It's going to be both Saturday and Sunday, running from 11 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. It, of course, is free. That is the best part, open to the public. A World War II nurse in Anchorage, Alaska was all smiles at the birthday party for number 99. That is right. Joe Vigil was there for the celebration.
Happy birthday! Greeted by a smile as bright as flowers.
Look, she brought you some flowers from my garden.
A number of people showed up to say happy birthday to Charlotte Schwed.
99, huh? 99 years.
And when you're the birthday girl, you get to do what you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlotte would like to show everybody how she can walk.
Something that hasn't been easy for the 99-year-old since her stroke 10 years ago.
Now, do
Backwards?
Yeah.
She's doing the moonwalk forward. Impressive at 99. Also impressive, Charlotte Schwed's nursing career.
You must be famous.
At age 24, she enlisted in the Army and headed over to England after graduating from nursing school. Her daughter says she ended up working in a military hospital in Tidworth, England.
I was stationed there.
There was a lot of activity there in June 1944.
Flying airplanes. Flying airplanes? So, and all the people. There was a lot of airplanes, weren't there? A lot of them.
June 6th, 1944 to be exact. Charlotte's daughter says her mom was there when the D-Day invasion happened. The Tidworth area was a training and staging area for some troops in the Normandy landings, just across the English Channel. Charlotte was taking care of injured soldiers prior to D-Day, but after discussions with her mom, Sharon White believes a number of D-Day troops made it back to Tidworth for care.
We had soldiers here, soldiers there, soldiers everywhere. She said that the wounded would come in and they'd stabilize them, comfort them as best they could, and then they'd all ship out and another wave of wounded would come in.
She said she'll never forget the number of planes that were in the air at that time.
To recognize the 99-year-old World War II veteran service, the local Quilts of Valor group presented Charlotte with a quilt, which is meant to cover service members touched by war.
The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation.
A comforting quilt for a kind soul
You got tears?
Oh.
who comforted wounded soldiers in one of the most epic battles ever.
Still ahead, one baby will never know his dad, but that doesn't mean that he didn't still get a warm welcome into this world. More on just how his Army family were able to make his day extra special. But first, speaking of extra special, we might have a whole beach day, right, this weekend, John Scalzi?
That's what I'm thinking. Beach time, everyone. We're looking at all the water samples along our area waterways showing no red tide. That's important. Winds will be turning westerly, I think, and we'll be looking at a lot of very pleasant weather as we head into the weekend. Sunset walk forecast, if you're going to be out there walking around, should be nice. Mostly sunny, dry conditions. I'll give it, ready? 4 beach balls out of 4. Haven't done that in about 4 days now, so that's great to see. Water, all flying green flags, I would think, and there'll be plenty of sunshine and fair weather skies. Complete forecast coming up in a minute.
Judy here, I think,
I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook. Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So here's the picture of the day, at least in my book. I've been watching this for a couple of weeks, and I'm wondering if it would ever affect the hurricane forecasts. And yesterday, one of the leading forecasters of hurricane season probabilities said would probably have a less active hurricane season because of it. So what are you looking at here? This is what we call the sea surface anomaly, and it shows how much warmer or colder than average water temperatures are in the planet. And here we're looking at the Gulf waters, the Caribbean, and out into the open waters of the Atlantic. A lot of water real estate here. And the blue areas are all below average temperatures 79 degrees or cooler, which does not support tropical development. And this kind of a picture that you see here, it's tough to recover from. So it's kind of interesting, and it has caused Philip Klotzbach, one who took over from Bill Gray at the Colorado State University's Forecast Center, to reduce the probability of a major hurricane striking the United States from over 60% down to 50%, which is about an average season. But of course, all experts will caution you that none of those forecasts tell you whether or not the storm that develops will hit your neighborhood. So you have to prepare as though it were an average or active or less than active. You always prepare in the same way. Expect the worst, hope for the best. And that's what we're going to do again this season. But it's kind of interesting, in part because how did it get that way? We really don't know. 73 degrees the air temperature, humidity at 93%, calm winds out there right now. It's going to be a nice day, mostly sunny skies, mostly inland showers. 79-degree air temperature as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures will climb into the upper 80s, so it'll be a warm day today. 20% chance of showers, mostly in inland areas. I think most of us are not going to see any rainfall all weekend long, so a little bit of a chance to dry out and hopefully get some of that standing water to evaporate before the mosquitoes hatch out next week. Got some showers down in the Florida Straits, but nothing like that massive amounts of rainfall that we have seen over the last several days lifting northward, so that's not in the picture today. The general wind flow also is not supporting surface moisture lifting northward. So I think we'll see maybe our dew points lower just a little bit. Still feel kind of humid over the weekend, but a little bit. And as I mentioned, a chance to dry out. Right now, Titan radar quiet. What you see here are these green blotches. Those are Horse Creek, the Myakka, the Little Manatee, all showing above average flows. And they're above flood stage by a little bit. So minor flooding occurring here through the weekend. If you're heading to Myakka State Park this weekend, it's still kind of sloppy out there. A lot of standing water. Futurecast shows some cloud cover mixed with some sunshine, and as we head into the afternoon, showers building in inland areas. I think lunchtime will be fine, but by the time we get to 2, 3 o'clock, Hardy, DeSoto, inland Charlotte, we'll start to see showers building, and those showers will tend to move further to the other coast. The other coast will be the hot spot for shower activity this week. Not so much our coast. Our coast stays pretty quiet. And for boaters, it means a pretty nice day for boating today. West wind coming in at about 10, maybe even a little lighter wind as we head into the evening, and high pressure continues to build. 2-foot seas, light chop on bay and inland waters. You have a 7:53 low tide, a high tide at 1:43, and another low tide at 10:30. Should be really nice boating conditions all weekend long, it looks like. 88 degrees our high today. Tomorrow about 86. We'll have that northwesterly wind tomorrow. I think that'll carry on into Sunday. Little chance of rainfall along the coast. Inland, maybe a shower or two, but the rain chances are small. Then as you go into next work week, I think you'll be seeing a little bit better chances for showers. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic again. As it gets a little bit later in the morning, starting to see a couple more of those delays. Definitely starting to see some more slowdowns right now. State Road 64 heading from the 41 area out to the beach is slowing down a little bit. 301 is starting to see some slowdowns right there too as you're heading north and south in and out of Bradenton. And then in Sarasota, those roads are still looking okay. Not too much to see right in that area. 301 right before University Parkway right there is starting to get a little bit busy. And then not too much other than that going on. Both 75 and 41 are running pretty smooth if you're heading farther south towards Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda this morning. Not running too bad out there. It is 5:47, and that is your first alert traffic. Well, one 2-month-old baby will never know her father. He was killed while serving in Afghanistan just days after finding out he was going to be a dad. But that legacy, that military legacy, has given little Christian a surrogate family in the men and women who served alongside her dad, Army Specialist Christopher Harris, before he was killed. Oh, there she is right there. They were there to support his widow, Britt Harris, throughout the course of her pregnancy. Members of the 82nd Airborne Division even revealed the baby's gender to her over video in October. On Tuesday, she gathered her husband's comrades together for a special photo shoot with little Christian. Some of the soldiers there were with Harris in the vehicle on the day that he died. The new mom says she hopes that Christian inherits her father's outgoing personality and love of meeting new people. Well, picking up those packs of pictures. You remember back in the day, the excitement, you'd get that pack of pictures, you don't know what's on them. Well, that feeling, that moment, it might be a thing of the past because one of the biggest camera makers has sold its last film camera. ABC's Diane Macedo and Candice Gibson have the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Canon officially goes all digital.
The company's no longer selling a film camera. Canon actually stopped making its last film camera 8 years ago, but they were selling what was left in stock. More teenagers are ditching Facebook. A new survey finds the social media site's popularity among teens has dropped by 20% since 2015.
So take a look at the new rankings. YouTube is #1 among teenagers, followed by Instagram and Snapchat. Facebook is in 4th place with only 51% of teens using it. Twitter, far behind in 5th place. A growing number of doctors are concerned about smartphone addiction. Apple says they want to help.
Bloomberg reports the company will soon roll out a new feature with tools to help people monitor how much time they spend on their phones.
Let me just tell you, a lot.
They have apps that do that, by the way.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Walgreens.
Stretched, smooth, scarred, soaked. The sun does not care, but we do. Walgreens beauty consultants are specially trained to know what works for the health of your unique skin. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Now, select sun care products are buy one, get one 50% off.
Add the Activia 2-week probiotic challenge to your healthy routine and see how Activia yogurt, with its billions of live and active probiotics, may help support your digestive health so you can take on your day. Text for a coupon and start the Activia probiotic challenge today.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy children's Claritin Allergy Relief, the #1 pediatrician recommended non-drowsy brand. Because to a kid, a grassy hill is irresistible. Children's Claritin. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
The ABC7 First Alert Weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert Weather app today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin. Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Welcome back. It is 5:54, and here are some of the top stories that we are following for you today on the Suncoast. First, it's officially hurricane season. It starts today. You should be preparing your home right now and stocking up on supplies. And many of those beginning today are tax-free for the next week. Plus, the Everglades National Park is doing something they've never done in their 70-year history. They're opening their borders to paid python hunters. That's how bad the problem is this year. Paid hunters can make up to $8 an hour to hunt and bonuses for bigger pythons. And today, new tariffs are in effect for several of America's closest allies. Now, that means some of those tariffs, they may cause you to see a hike in your grocery bill. President Trump says he's cracking down on global trading partners that he believes are taking advantage of the U.S. And now let's look at your weather with the fabulous John Scalzi.
So we're looking at pretty good conditions today and through the weekend. I think the weather highlights include dry spells starting as early as today, a sunny weekend in store, and don't forget hurricane season starts. So tonight at 7 o'clock, you'll have a special to watch that's on our channel, and it'll be a really interesting one that you really need to watch. A lot of good information there. 7 p.m. this evening. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, John. Now, straight ahead in the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to have another look at your full weekend forecast. We're going to tell you which hurricane supplies are tax-free beginning today and running for the next week, and how to get prepared, you and your family and your home, everything you need to know for hurricane season that is beginning today. You are watching Good Morning Suncoast. A full hour of news continues right here on ABC 7.